Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Delta. I'm your host, Mike Karnowski, aka Devil. We got some details for you this evening. In Whiskey Delta, we look for the movers and shakers in the military and veteran gaming community, and the veteran community at large, looking for people that are causing mischief, mayhem, and doing a whole lot of good out there. Our guest this evening is someone very near and dear to my heart, somebody that I've known for quite a few years now, and somebody who represents an organization that we just had the pleasure of doing a charity tournament for event. Thank you. And raising some monies for. And the organization in question is Next Step Service Dogs, fabulous organization. Our guest this evening is none other than the training director herself, uh, my friend, soon to be yours, Gina. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with us. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, Gina, I gotta ask, even though I know the answer to this, you know the answer to this, but the people at home and the millions potentially watching, I wish we had millions watching, maybe someday. The folks watching, what got you into training service animals?
Well, that's a good question. Several years ago, more than several years ago, I was at a point in my life where I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Kids were off to school. My youngest had just left for the academy, and I was searching. I've always enjoyed working with nonprofits. I knew that I wanted to work with dogs. Dogs make you happy. I had been volunteering with another organization, working with children with children with disabilities, and I was kind of thinking, like, how do I put them together? I was searching on the internet, looking at animal behavior school, and closed it up and said, I'm going to the park with the dogs, and off I went. And while I was at that dog park, I met a woman, Sally Montruccio, that changed my life. Sally is the founder of Next Step Service Dogs. She was there with Ringo, her dog, um, and I just started chatting. And she said, "Why don't you come visit us? Come see our organization and our facility in Escondido." And I said, "Okay." So I went there on a Monday. That was almost, gosh, I think I'm going on over 8 years ago, and I never left. I volunteered for about 2 years. I became Sally's assistant, and I just loved it from the minute I walked in the door. Not only the dogs, but just working with the veterans. It just changed my life. Absolutely changed my life.
So it sounds like it almost kind of went hand in hand, not just training dogs, but the ability to work with veterans and first responders. It just kind of melded. Like, it wasn't, you weren't actively searching to necessarily work with veterans, but it just happened. Is that about right?
That is correct. I no, I wasn't searching for that at all. But it was just a beautiful thing. I went to that training room the first day, and I left and I went home, and I couldn't remember a time other than maybe when my children were small that I felt that good and felt that I could um, not even change their lives, that they were changing my life. It was just an experience I really can't explain. And I tell people that when they call to volunteer to work with Next Step, I said, you have to come and experience it because I just can't put it into words.
Sounds like you're doing a just fine job putting it into words right now.
Thanks.
Oh goodness. So I see I see some of the emotion and the passion that's coming out of you right now. And we talked ahead of time. We talked about that one of the questions that I was going to ask you, just so it didn't completely blow you away from the get go. Because I obviously we want, these interviews to flow nicely and whatnot. But what gets you out of bed every morning to train with these dogs and train with these veterans and first responders? What makes Gina wake up in the morning and say, "Let's go"? And we know it's at 4:30 in the morning.
At 4:30, and it's not just the dog looking to eat. um, it does. I do get emotional when I think about this and when I talk about it. I experience veterans, the dogs, helping veterans change their life and change it, and in a way that a lot of ways that you and I, or you and a lot of other people, I should say, um, take for granted. You know, for me to go to Starbucks and for the average person to go into Starbucks and order a coffee is not a really big deal. Or to run to Target and get something for your family, or go to a barbecue, a small family barbecue, it's not a big deal. It's kind of like what we do every weekend. For the veterans I was meeting and that I've met and that I work with on a daily basis, and I call them my family, they can't do that. They can't do that. And training the dog and placing the dog with them allows them to do that. And it's just so gratifying when I get a text early in the morning from a veteran's spouse that says, "Wow, he slept last night." It's mind blowing. We take these things so for granted.
Absolutely. And so, and it's very eye opening when you think about how many times you have to go into Target and sit at the little Starbucks kiosk and just wait, and how many classes you go through without actually moving from those tables
Mhm.
before you're ready to even move through those tables with the dog. Um,
Yeah.
it's not something that a lot of these interviews don't show how many times that I personally had to do that. It's not something that we talk about readily in a few of these things, but
Mhm.
the fact that uh, our Ruger is our honorary military gaming league mascot and goes to every live event when we were having them is just a testament to the training program and to how it can enable veterans to adapt and overcome everything that's going through their heads and any potential physical limitations as well. It's What would you say some of the harder behaviors have been to capture between a team, a dog, and their veteran or first responder?
Capture, I want to be clear, to
In
train the dog to provide a specific task for,
Correct.
or, okay, interruption. That's capturing maybe the physical body movements that the veteran maybe make when they're in that state that the dog has to interrupt. That sometimes can prove to be difficult. We rely on maybe a significant other or someone in the household that can videotape it so that we can capture and know what we exactly need to do. Um, I don't know that it's really the dog that is the difficult part. Okay. And I say that I shouldn't say difficult. I shouldn't say difficult, but the training I say is a large percentage working with the veteran and waiting for them to allow me in to help them and allow trying for them to open up and share with me what they really need. A lot of veterans coming into the program, they don't really know what they need. They've been told that a service dog would be a good add to their therapy and their life, but they're not really sure what the dog's going to do for them. So that is always and it's always brilliant when it happens. When they finally share, or when we finally get to that moment where they could take that step out to Target. A lot of times we stand in front of Target. We don't even go in. We're not there yet. And just training, or I hate to say educating the handler how to utilize the dog. They're feeling insecure in public. Talk to the dog. The dog makes you forget about everything that's going on. He just loves you. He looks at you, he'll kiss you. He just makes you feel good and grounds you. But I think it's pretty incredible. And when I speak to therapists, they say, "Oh, well, the dog is great, but I'm not really sure." I said, "Well, how do you explain someone who never left their house and didn't have the drive to go to work or to go to the store. And now, once the dog is placed in their home, they're at school, they're traveling. How do you explain that? How do you say that dog's not helping? How do you explain medication from 10, 15 pills a day? Because I track it on an annual report down to 2. And the dog's the only change.
Yep.
Pretty incredible. And that's why people need to respect, that's something we didn't talk about, but people, our public really needs to respect these animals, all service animals working. The person may not look like to them that they need a service dog, but those dogs are working. They need to respect it. Not everybody that is disabled has a visible disability.
That's right. You never know what the disability is. Never. Could be any number of things.
Did that answer your question?
Absolutely, it did. It's if you can't see the tears streaming down my face right now, it's happening. So the question is, if someone wanted to get a hold of Next Step via phone, social media, where would they go? Let's start with the website. If somebody wanted to take a look at Next Step's website, where would they go?
They would go to nextstepservicedogs.org.
And what other social media aspects do you have? Are you all on Instagram? Do you have Twitter? What other mediums can folks come find you at?
They can find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. Is it Next Step Service Dogs for both? Is there any hyphens, any of that?
It's Next
Yes,
Step
there's
Service
hyphens.
Dogs for both. There are.
Okay. If you want to see some amazing tasks and behaviors that these wonderful service dogs can provide to veterans and save their lives, go check out the Instagram, see what the feeds are doing, see how these animals are enabling veterans and first responders to get back out into the world and do the things that they used to be able to do before whatever it was that happened to them caused them to retreat back into themselves. Go check it out. And if your wallet's got a little extra in them, donate, donate, donate. Go click on that big donate button that you see on the website and go make some people very, very happy. I think that if I keep talking anymore, that I am just going to start bawling my eyes out. So I think, I need to close this out. So once again, go check out Next Step Service Dogs some more. It's fabulous. My guest this evening on Whiskey Delta is their training director. And as of this recording, her birthday is tomorrow. So yes, when this video releases, it will be a belated birthday to Gina. So if you see this video and you know Gina, be sure to wish her a belated birthday. We're not going to say how old she is. I know, but I'm not telling because that's just rude. Once again, I'm Mike Karnowski, aka Devil. We got into the details of Next Step Service Dogs. It's a wonderful organization. I know them well. I have one of their animals. My good buddy Ruger, you know him as the Military Gaming League mascot. This has been another fabulous episode of Whiskey Delta. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.